Hello and welcome to another edition of Motor Capital. We are back in the 313. And this was a Sunday evening, July 30th. Just a little bit of time before the sun sets. But we're at the St. Aubin and Frederick Blues Festival, formerly known as, here we go, Pete's Carpet House. Yeah, that young lady wanted to be on Motor Capital, and so there she was. All right, we're going to take the backwoods entrance to this festival. And it's just a grassy field with a tree and a little platform with some carpeting, and they make do with what they got. But let's listen in here.
Saturday I go out to play. The Eagle flies on Friday. Saturday I go out to play. Sunday morning when I go to church, I need out the blessing. Oh Lord. I said I'm crazy about my baby, cause my baby crazy about me. I don't think it's misery. Yeah. Come on, let me tell you about the little story I know. Say my baby, and she's crying out for more. Yeah. Said I'm crazy about my baby, and my baby crazy about me. Testing 1, 2.
Ready to go? In the bucket.
Jerry!
With Jerry.
That's the new jail area over yonder. This building's abandoned. It's got a bottle rocket up top. Very pleasant weather here this Sunday evening, and it's weather permitting. They have this blues festival, Pete's Carpet House. It goes by various names, but it's on the southeast corner of I-94 and I-75. Right near where that waste incinerator is coming on down. They knocked down the smokestack, and they're doing so with some of the other surrounding buildings too. There's some nice car action. Definitely the motorcycles are out for sure. This is A Detroit-style party. No doubt about it. They even have the ice cream trucks. And flowers abound even on the sidewalk. There was a free festival here. I missed that. It looks like they had a bouncy, jumpy type inflatable thing. I would have liked that. You got to watch. Certain parts of the road are a little bit hazardous. There's some storefront churches. You can see a building here repurposed. It was a bank at one time. But that's quite common in Detroit. It's interesting. This building's not totally squared up. It's got some kind of like lean factor going on. Raven Lounge. I'll vouch for this place. They got live blues Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. This is on Shane and Farnsworth. No covered charge on Thursday, which is a great jam session. And then Friday and Saturday, it's $10. Trying to get the owner to open up on Sunday and get the spillover audience from this festival. There was a Trust and Recovery Park here, but I don't think that went so well. But there's a mix here, or a balance between gospel and the blues. I never quite understood when I was younger, but they're opposite ends of the spectrum. Gospel is the good side of the spectrum, and blues is the other side. It's like the angel devil kind of thing, but yeah, I tend towards the blues side. I have an appreciation of gospel, but the blues really touches my soul, so unfortunately I'm leaning towards the wrong side of the fence or whatever. But yeah, they had a recovery park, and then the ownership kind of messed up a little bit on that. There's some entrepreneurs out here that set up their tent and do their thing, and there's a few food trucks, so you can get your foodie thing on. But yeah, it stops pretty much at dusk, so the music's over, the stage is cleared, and as the days start getting shorter, the musical performances will end earlier. But yeah, you can figure right around 9 or thereabouts now. But they don't have any real lighting on the scene to speak of, so it's just kind of an unwritten rule that when the sun goes down, they start cleaning up. Here are some lighting action with the speakers. I was mesmerized. But yeah, this is just the carpeted stage they got going. They got nothing fancy, really, but they do have quite the production, and a lot of top-notch blues players will come on and do their little jam session here, and people are very appreciative. Did I say that right? Appreciative. Too many syllables, and my tongue gets all twisted. All right, yeah, did I mention motorcycles? Yeah, they do a big thing with the motorcycles, so if you're into that, you would get a kick out of this. My evil twin had a great time, always does. Anytime I set foot in Detroit. All right, back to my car where I parked it, and what to do with this Shane Ferry Market. Lordy, lordy, it could be like a mini Gibraltar Trade Center kind of thing. Eastern Market's just down the street, so you don't necessarily have to do the fruits and vegetable thing, but it could be a little trade fair. We don't have those Gibraltar Trade Centers anymore. They gobbled up both of them in some kind of real estate developments. There was one downriver and one in Mount Clemens. Night of the Living Dead. Well, they are already getting ready for Halloween, it looks like. Got some good lighting action. And this guy was just waving them in. My hand would get tired doing that all day, all night long, but that guy's got some energy. Pizzas and calzones. I'm taking Michigan Avenue back. Ooh, there's kind of like a red light or green light district here, but yeah, look at that fancy neon. Holy cow. All right. I'm going to take Chicago en route to home. All right. So here's another day, another video thing, but an update for Region Court. This was on a Tuesday, August 1st, and I'm waiting for them to put this heavy artillery together here. It's the E164 model crane, and it's supposed to be the largest in all the land, at least for North America. But they got to put it together, and it comes kind of like in pieces. It gets transported separately. I understand 17 semis, and I don't think they've all come by yet, but there's a left hand and a right hand, or a driver's and a passenger, although I don't know if the cab for this is probably in the middle somewhere, but they got some big counterweights. All right, well, here's a weather vane with a golfing theme, and I've noticed this a while back, and it works too. That's fabulous, and you're wondering where I'm at? Well, you will soon find out. The Dearborn Country Club. This is a private club. You probably have some kind of outrageous membership fee, or maybe it's reasonable. It's just outrageous for the people that can't afford it. But if you, I just get a kick out. There's a golfer and a caddy, and there's a bench and a tree. I'm not sure what's off to the right. I need somebody help me out there. But couple of small tents set up there. Oh, yeah, well, now I'm at Ford Field. This is a preview. I'm trying to get the lay of the land for the Dearborn homecoming and just see how this all goes down. This is quite the production, so there's some work involved in just getting the place set up and good and ready for the main action, which takes place on the weekend, a Friday, Saturday, Sunday type thing. This is on top of the hill, the tobogganing sledding hill. They'll have the stage there, and then the fireworks will be back down there. So the city of Dearborn, I'm not sure what the official color. They used the Ford Ford 550. So it's a few steps up from the F-150, but they got that yellow-orangish color. I'm not sure what the official name. It's like a mellow orange kind of thing. All right, well, the building services and maintenance are here. They got the tent set up. This is the picnic table area, so if you patronize the food trucks and want to sit down, they have it there. And then all the emergency services people, it's going to be all hands on deck here, including the fire department. They got special operations, so they got a command post. Yeah, all these emergency management. Yeah, so if you're thinking of doing something nefarious, they're on to you. They have security. And then if you want to lock down your love, that's how you do it these days, I guess, with the younger folk. That's the Lower Rouge River, and that's ours to protect. We definitely have to keep that nice, clean, and pristine. Not only for us, but for the wildlife here, too, the duckies. This one's not spooked by me. Normally they're just running, but I've mellowed in my older days. Now this I don't understand. That's like a little merry-go-round thing. Why that ended up in the water, I'm not sure, but that's not the proper way to dispose of things. All right, well, they're setting up the kiddie rides, so this is the puppy roll, and this has got something to do with a bumblebee. Peace. The bumblebee comes in peace. All right, Bumblebee Bop. Okay, there you have it. And this, it was like an origami thing. It all collapse down onto that trailer, but when they did it, yeah, boom, a Ferris wheel. Here's their menu. I don't know, $28 for the top of the thing. I don't know if that's one of everything or how they do that. Imagine, I like this from the Beatles song, and they got plenty of nice landscaping and flowers and all that. But apparently it's the name of the business too, and they're putting up at least one of the Peace Parks in the area between two parking decks, which I'll show later in Dearborn. So just remember that Imagine thing. It's the name of a guy's business here, but yeah, the Ferris wheel lets you know you're in the heart of the action there. That'll be the carnival ride area. Then the weeping willow trees. I'm thinking that's a great place to set up camp underneath one of those weeping willows. You get plenty of nice shade, and you got to kind of plan ahead and stake your territory or mark your territory. Make sure you get a nice picnic table. They have plenty of porta-johns. That shouldn't be an issue. Parking's going to go in that lot there where the baseball field was. I understand it was $10 and it was first come, first served. So parking might be at a premium, but yeah, in front of this parking back stand here. So we're in the flight path to Detroit Metro Airport, so you can see the planes as they swoop on in. Here, plenty of picnic tables, and again, we're down by the river. But yeah, get here early and often. This tree has the bark issue. It's like the bark falls off. All right, well, the riverbed here, to help the flow, they got the paved kind of bricks that are interlocking. It's not moving too briskly here on this particular day, but give it a nice little rain and you'll see some movement. There's even some flowers growing. This is the Brady Street Bridge, redone up in 2020. So, looks like they painted it too, looking good. The detour, I like to take those. So, yeah, I'm going to go down this way. Follow the, not the yellow brick road, but follow the red brick or the red fence there, red painted fence. There's a gentleman or a couple that own this nice house here, and they got some nice bird houses too, not just their own house, but houses for the birds. Here's that interlocking brick. Or a canoe or an inflatable or whatever, yeah, you'd have to navigate these rapids here. Yep, you gotta be careful. Experienced river management people only. But yeah, follow the fence line here. And this picnic shelter is going to be used. This is the North Shelter picnic area. And access, and then they'll have a Polish tent. And they got the big rocks just like they do at Camp Dearborn. And they like to paint them up in white and then put them in a row kind of a thing. It's kind of neat. It's a Dearborn thing that they do. But yeah, now back on top of the hill, they have nice restroom facilities that are nice and clean, so you don't have to use the porta-john if you don't want to. They got some heavy artillery. They got the bocce ball courts. This is not a bad picnic area here to set up base camp either. Nice green spaces, and there's some tables up top. And yeah, here's the front of that nice house with the bird houses in the back. So good house for them and good housing for the birds too. They got a nice driveway. And here's a blue light district. Well, This is nice. This is free parking. They have those two parking decks. What on West Village Drive, I think is the name, just a block south of Michigan Avenue. But yeah, they used to charge for parking, then they got smart with it and said, no, that's not going to work. So now it's free parking, and there's 4 floors of it, which is great. Off yonder was the Village Plaza, where the village people used to hang out, but not no more. That building is totally abandoned. It's condemned. It has asbestos problems, among other things that they have to deal with. It's been ordered to be demolished, but I believe the owners have applied for an extension. Here's some nice artwork here. And then these people live right next to the railroad tracks. How they can even manage that. You would say, like, not in my backyard. And people aren't necessarily against trains, but geez, they should reroute the train lines so they're not bothering those people. Jeez. Not in my neighborhood. You hear those people all the time. Anyways, here's between these 2 parking garages, and there's going to be a Peace Park right here, right in this area. They're moving around some dirt already. Here's the I for Imagine, and they're excusing their mess, but they're just getting started here. There's a phone number and a email address, but yeah, imagine the park here. So, and they're going to even go off of the peace theme there, which is kind of neat. But when it's all said and done, this should be a very nice park. You can scan the QR code. If I hold that steady enough, maybe it'll give you some info. But there's 3 of these parks. One's in Eastbourne. This is the one in Westbourne. And then there's one at City Hall, the old City Hall. That's still Eastbourne, actually, but yeah, that's Michigan and Schaefer. We got that hazy sunshine, a little twinkling X off there. X marks the spot, but yeah, that's the wildfires from Canada are giving us some spectacular sunsets. But yeah, you'll be able to watch the viewing of the construction from the parking deck, so this will be a good bird's eye view. And then here's the Village Plaza, and it's missing a window up top. I don't think the board up was done all that great, so periodically one of those things will fall in. Well, while I'm in the neighborhood, we're going to check out this old Kroger place. This was Garrison Place, if you can kind of tell from the sign there, but I follow the Nextdoor app, which is kind of a neat little thing. It tells you what's happening in and around your neighborhood. Kind of put a pin where you're at and then take a compass and go in a circular thing, and it kind of shows you everything that's happening in your neighborhood. So if there's a lost dog or a cat, okay, you can get people that will be on the lookout for that kind of stuff, and just things that are happening in and around your neighborhood, which is kind of gives you an idea of what's important to people. Okay, this location permanently closed. But yeah, people were all up in arms, like, what's happening with this Kroger? And it was supposed to be an Amazon Fresh or some version of the Amazon Fresh food place or whatever, kind of like a grocery store. And it was all, people were excited thinking that was great, but I guess that all fell through. The market changed post-COVID, or they had a change of heart. But that's what it looks like on the inside. The light poles here, I think, rusted out, and the tubes to take the wires down. But yeah, they'll have to redo all this. But some people were complaining they thought the building was an eyesore. It's not necessarily a huge eyesore, but it's setting up for some kind of redevelopment or repurposing. So people have to put their thinking caps on, come up with a game plan. All right, back down by the river, right behind this shopping plaza, is the Lower Rouge River, and this flooded a couple of years back. And so we have to keep an eye on what's happening down by the river and make sure it has good flow through the area and there's no obstructions. But people that are into the hiking and the exercise, I'm not the first person that's blazed a trail through here. Obviously, there have been explorers before me. But yeah, which is good because exercise is good and being one with Mother Nature is a good thing. Have an appreciation for all that's happening, kind of not so much behind the scenes and very much in front of us. But yeah, the water looks pretty clear here, and that's the idea. Give a hoot, don't pollute kind of thing. But yeah, and the mosquitoes weren't really bad either. I was worried about all that, but it was just a minor kind of a nuisance. I was looking for Marjorie Taylor Greene. She's been referred to as like the cocaine bear, kind of on that same level, but I didn't see her. This was as orange as like orangey can be, and this is like a moss, like mushroom type growth out of a tree. Didn't think it could get that orangey, but there you have it. So, all right, so I resurfaced out of the wooded area, but that could be a nice trail path all along the Lower Rouge. They got bike trails and all that. When you get to U of M Dearborn and Henry Ford, they have more trails. Up here, they have a fire exit. This is the 23,000. When you hit 24,000, you hit Telegraph. But yeah, that Village Plaza, we need to put on our urban thinking caps on and think about what to do with that Village Plaza. That's been an eyesore since 2018. So, and then the old Hyatt Regency, it's now called, or last incarnation was the Edward. Well, this is behind the shopping plaza, and there's only a few businesses that occupy the front end. There was a Blockbuster Video. Is it this one? Yeah, this was Blockbuster, I believe, way back in the day. But yeah, well, what to do with this whole shopping center? This is one of the corner things. It's available. Call Mid-America. Can't make out what the store name was, but this place here is available too. Yeah, urban planning can take place anywhere. Any place that there's dirt. Like if you took a shovel and dug under the ground underneath you, as long as you see dirt, yeah, urban planning can take place. Yeah, just a big blank spot there. They have a light in position to light it up, but yeah, what to do? It's not so much an eyesore, but it's basically bacon. Can I say that? Bacon. The sun is setting off yonder. There's a couple of storefronts there. There's a Holiday thing. You can get a hot dog. Yeah, Holiday Grill. Maybe this nails and spa place is still around. And a Dearborn Family Dentistry. So maybe 3 businesses. But yeah, urban planning is audience participation. So, and probably you can get the best suggestions or ideas from people that you might not necessarily expect them from. But if you have a pulse and you can breathe, you can come up with ideas. And yeah, I'm sure the city is ready and willing and able to listen. So just contact the city. All right, well, now it's the mega billions. I think it's going to be up to 1.25 or 1.5 billion. All right, well, I'm doing the moon following, too. And I go to almanac.com, and we're talking full moon there when the illumination says 100%. And this was like a super moon. It goes in elliptical orbit around the planet Earth. And anyways, when it gets real close, it's called like a supermoon. So I was prepared and ready. Saturn Marketplace. I do some shopping here. but it's also a good place where I can kind of get. Well, they have Spartan, the Our Family brand, but here I can get a good view of the moon, especially if I got to look a little bit in a southerly direction. And so they said the moon might be looking pretty good because of the fires. Got that orange little haze to it kind of thing. And so there it is. It's a super moon. It's also known as the sturgeon moon. And this was like August 1st, and then the moon does its thing every 29 days. So we're going to have a blue moon on August 30th. That's the second full moon in a month. So you've heard that expression, once in a blue moon. I get that every now and then because once in a blue moon, somebody might admit they actually watch Motor Capital, which I always get a kick out of because that's the point, I guess, of it all. But anyways, here's the almanac.com, and I was scrolling through. So, yeah, they got names for all the different full moons. And so they explain a little bit here about the super moon and all that and tell you how to watch it. And so I get my updates, or I check periodically here. Now, if I scroll down, so it says August 1st full moon, but yeah, this is more information than you might need, but they got a moon phase calendar, so the full sturgeon moon, 2:33 p.m., that happened on August 1st, but then the moon will be, from the full moon, it'll be waning. Oh, I hate when they put these ads. Here I'm trying to show you something. I got to click off this ad. Okay. So, yeah, it's waning down to a new moon, and then it'll start waxing up. And so the blue moon happens on August 30th at 9:37 p.m. So I got my calendar marked. I'm ready. All right, well, this is Mother Nature in action again, too, but there's kind of like a brown spot on my front lawn, and I'm wondering, there's a function at the junction. I'm not exactly sure what's going down, but the ants were having a party. And so I don't know if there was something in the bird food and the birds knocked it out of the container because the ants were just loving whatever that was. They were going nuts. So the bird feeder's good to go. Marty's out on the front porch chilling. He keeps an eye on things, at least one eye on what's going on. He likes watching the flowers grow. All right, then I took a nap. And then Dearborn Music, I think that said since 1956, so they've been around a while. Then just inside the lobby here, you can get they got a community billboard, but Metro Times, you can get it here, right where the Motor Capital thing is. But yeah, they got a thing here on the Milan Dragway, which is neat. And they have a stack there, but get there early and often because come Monday or whatnot, that stack of Metro Times will be gone. All right, well, this willow tree, this would be a great place. I'm back at Ford Field, the original Ford Field, and I'm thinking this would be a great place. There's that nice Imagine house. But you can do a lot of good people watching here under this area. Just set up a nice blanket. Then maybe if you can, grab a picnic table and just chill. Because all the people are walking down as they go to the carnival and vice versa. So I went with a friend from high school down to the festival, and we kind of put each other on alert as to whether we would recognize anybody from back in the day, back when we were in high school. But we're getting old. We graduated in 1978. That's really dating us now. But all right, well, they have a South Shelter. That's a good picnic area, too. And then you can get your tickets here where the stand is set up, where the little cowboy's doing his thing. And they have convenient Porta Johns, and funnel cakes, elephant ears, and pizza, stromboli, lemonade, fried mozzarella. Yeah, you definitely need that. And the groovy bus down yonder. Then corn dogs for sure. And this was, and candy apples. This was before the crowd. This was like preliminary stuff, just getting the lay of the land to see how, kind of. It's like a dry run, but you just kind of want to see where everything's around. So the wristband was $30. I think if you went online, you could get it for $25. So they gave you a discount there. But it was quite crowded though, so there was lines for the rides. So yeah, you had to plan ahead. That's like a thumbs up. Oh, this is that. That's a happy swing. Yeah, I like the covered bridge. Okay, cultural pavilion. That's where access, which is the Arab base thing, and then they had the Polish food tent, like with all the Polish food, pierogies and stuff like that. This is where they're going to hook up the beer. They don't have the taps applied yet. But this was doing a popular business, too, on Saturday when I came by. Looks like the Fordson Alumni Club. They'll make some money with that operation. There's the hill, and they got tents up top. And we're all proud to be American, as well we should be. But, yeah, this is going to be a big to-do. Last year it was at the Performing Arts area. The city was a little spooked with the flooding issue, which hopefully that flood is like once in a 500-year thing, but it doesn't seem like it's like that anymore. It seems like it's more like a once in a 20 or 30-year thing, but all right, some people have their blankets set up on top of the hill, and they were setting up the main stage, so they had the lighting action. They were working on that in the sound system. It's quite the production to make sure everything's working properly, but that's the point of it all, to get it all going so that when it's in operation, it's good to go and it works. They're going to have a fence here. This is going to cordon, or the horses there to kind of cordon off people, because the fireworks thing is going to be, right back here, right behind the main stage. If you're tobogganing in the winter, though, worry about that stump right there. Here's the red fence, so they're cordoning this off, too. You got to keep them separated, kind of a thing, but yeah. So right around there, I think they might even had a car show a little bit, but yeah, they got this area kind of cordoned off for the fire department and to do their thing, and for all the band people and the concert people, they got to be like on the hill there, the other side. So they had a map and everything laid out, so it was kind of neat. Here, you can take this trail down by the river, and it goes for a little spell back here. But we have to embrace Mother Nature and not turn our backs. The river is a cool thing. If we did anything like what Ann Arbor does with embracing the Huron River, that would be a huge bonus. It'd be neat to see people coming down in a canoe or a kayak, or those, even an inner tube. But the water, I don't know how clean it necessarily is, but just like back in the day when the Indians were, there's some fence action over here too. But the explorers, the Indians, the early settlers, but the Indians had it down right. Michigan Avenue is an old Indian trail. It was the Sauk Trail before we kind of paved it over. But yeah, this is, and there's nice green area over here. And it looks like they moved some of the picnic tables away, but that's only temporary. Once the homecoming is over, I'm sure these picnic tables will find. Watch that tree stump. They should grind that down before some kid goes down the hill, hits the tree stump, and then, you know how people are sue happy these days. But, yeah, but they got this all cordoned off. So there's quite a bit of setup. But these are nice picnic tables. I was hoping maybe like somebody'd have a big picnic thing and I could play like Yogi Bear and his sidekick Boo Boo. There's fisher people in there. So yeah, there's I don't know how the fishing is. I'm not a fisher person per se, but they must be catching some things. And then off yonder is the covered bridge. But yeah, I get a kick out of these weeping willows for sure. And then they have all the golf carts. So yeah, you do a lot of walking and get your exercise with these things. But that's why they have these golf carts. Hey, I know that guy. Like, I know people. Here and there, I do know some people, but I happen to know Craig Schuler, so it's one of my claims to fame. But he's the MC for the event. He's got his very own golf cart. I don't know if he's got a driver for that, too, or what, but there were a lot of people organizing in the Parks and Recreation Department. There's certainly some behind-the-scenes work that is involved in making these things happen. Here's like, you might think it's a bird feeder kind of thing, a multi-level, but I think it has something to do with the emergency alarm system. Just in case like Canada attacks us in the middle of the night, that alarm system will go off. But yeah, this nice hill brings back memories. As a youngster, my evil twin even remembers those days. Barreling down the hill, either in a toboggan or a sled or one of those little saucer disc things. But yeah, and then they have a plaque here. So the north end is Cherry Hill. And here's a Dearborn homecoming. They even painted the grass up. Art is driven by Village Ford. Yeah, we have a bunch of village people in Dearborn. Village Ford is a business. I'm actually going to hopefully buy a Ford Maverick from those guys. I ordered one, but it's so popular, it's going to take a while. They've had a backlog of orders. It'll take them a while before they build it. But hopefully in the near future, I'll show you my new brand spanking new Ford Maverick. Neat little mini truck. So I'll be able to haul some things. My Ford Focus is pretty cool, but it's not good for hauling anything. It's got a relatively small trunk and a relatively small back seat. This is a 721G model here, but they do have some heavy artillery. Here, this one can scoop stuff up. Yeah, push some stuff around. I remember back in those days, like when I was a kid, a youngster, I had the Tonka toy stuff, and yeah, in the sandbox, I became quite good at moving dirt from like point A to point B. So I get a kick out of these bigger, scaled up versions. All right. So yeah, on the covered bridge again. There was like a pinch point here. This was a traffic jam. People coming and going on the weekend. All right, we'll look at some of the Prices again, pickles are $2. Corn dog is $6. Bottled water is $4. That seems a little pricey. All right, so the Lower Rouge River, it's ours to protect. And they got a kids stage. Yeah, it's easier to see things now when it's not loaded up with people and that kind of thing. Yeah, did I mention the Rouge River, ours to protect? Yes, indeed. It is not cool to pollute and do all that stuff because that affects other people. Yeah, so pitch in, throw your garbage away appropriately. I like this vine action on this parking deck here. They kind of let the vines go and do their own thing. You only see like a few slits there. If you were parking up there, it's probably hard to see the sun with all that vine action. But still, that's all cool. All right, well, the Dearborn shop established just a couple of years ago in 2021. And I heard about this place, so I'm going to take a look-see inside there in a little bit. All right, so then this is yet another day. This is Friday, August 4th. And there's the mayor, and he's getting interviewed by WWJ. This is like my favorite radio station, at least on the AM dial. I have a Sony camera, but it's nothing like that one there. Channel 7 was on the scene. Yeah, he was multitasking here. Oh, I didn't all catch what the mayor had to say. I could have stood in line and maybe got an interview. Off yonder, there's a photo op. If you like doing the selfie thing, you could do that. Okay, so access, and then is it Polish tent or polish? Can never get that right. Because it's two different words, mean two different things, but it's pronounced two different ways. My brain is just scrambled right now. All right, wristband required to purchase alcohol, so they'll check you first, and then it's $5 per drink. So it looks like they got some seltzers, and I think those have alcohol, I do believe. I know those do, but Bud Light, good thing, as far as I know, Kid Rock didn't show up because there'd probably be hell to pay if he did show up. Kid Rock had a big thing with Bud Light, and he got out his AR-15. It's either AR-15, I think that's the one of choice now. It used to be the AK-47, but AR-15 must be an upgrade. It's more of a mass killing machine or something, but Kid Rock took out like 3 or 4 cases of Bud Light. He's not even that good of a shot, but he had some anger management issues. I'm not quite, you'd have to ask him what that was all about. But yeah, apparently him and Bud Light just do not get along. So, something there is awry. But they're still probably doing the sound checks. They got the light board up there, or the light bar up top. It's quite the production that they have going on. Then they have these bouncy inflatables, and I don't think there was a kid restriction. I was going to check into that because I had a lot of energy to burn off. I probably could have jumped and bounced and flipped around and done it for hours. I just have that kind of energy. All right, well, then they got the painting thing going on, which is really cool. And they got T-shirts made up, artists. So, yeah, the artists have their own shirts, and they're doing paint in the park. And this is really cool. And there's plenty of nice shady areas. Paint out in the park is what it's officially called. And then they're going to have voting. So I don't know how many artists were involved, but they all had their little canvas thing and went to town. And then I think afterwards they'll be up for sale in the Paduski Gallery, or if I'm pronouncing that right. But that's the gallery at the Performing Arts Center that's off of Michigan Avenue. This is a nice magazine, the Parks and Recreation, so it might come out quarterly or at least twice a year, but they talked about Camp Dearborn and give you information on all the pools and parks and the golfing and all number of activities. Now these artists are just getting their canvases ready and just getting started, but here you see the stage. Now they got the chairs lined up in front, but the hill will be a good viewing area, so just don't forget to bring your blanket, because sometimes sitting on the grass you might get some grass stains. All right, I like the logo here for Volkswagen, the VW, and I'm just guessing, but it's probably, I don't know, I'm thinking it's kind of like maybe 1963 model. What is my guess? Could be wrong. It's just I'm just throwing it out there. But there's some rules here. No dogs for sanitary reasons. But then they got the food trucks. So they got the lobster truck out here. That one even has a TV. So if you're waiting in line, you can do that. Ice cream flavors. They got multiple flavors. Mediterranean food. Sandwiches, tacos, I think. Yeah, a different thing for your palate. Now, I was getting thirsty, and they had, kind of like the rainbow assortment there. I don't know. Sometimes you just can't be too woke. There's a fine balance between woke and anti-woke, and you got to find just where it's at. Ron DeSantis has no clue where that's at, but anyways, here they got chicken tacos. It's a two-piece thing. Shrimp tacos, you get two. Mexican corn. They were setting up and probably going through plans and contingency things for the fireworks. The class of 60, I don't know. They should class of 60, they're probably going to come down in walkers and canes and those motorized scooters and all that. It's like, geez, I'm almost ready to be to that point. Oh, they got cooling stations, and so the youngsters were loving this. I think they're twins there, but yeah, they were staying nice and cool there with those fans. And yeah, Kid Rock, stay away, please. We don't need any extracurricular activity like that. Egads. Here's the mayor again, and he's passionate about telling people, because you can see him getting descriptive with his hands and gesturing. That means he's passionate about his city and all that. So he's probably saying, welcome to Dearborn. Come on down. And then, clean up after yourself, too. I think he's probably saying that. All right, the Heights. Even you can shoot some hoops if you want and then pick up a hot dog. But yeah, this is the Imagine House. Sometimes it's used for like info, but in this case it's Imagine, because they got their sign out here, Imagine. Yeah, imagine a better Dearborn. Imagine a better world. Imagine anything. Yeah, that's a power word for sure. And then they have a thing, lightly used backpacks here, $10. They had backpacks all over the place, even down the side of the house, in the garage, everywhere. Here we go. Faith, hope, and guess what the third one is? If you guess charity, you win the prize. I don't know, yet to be determined, but here's the Dearborn shop. Yeah, I'm here. I'm going to step inside. Locally made goods, city merchandise, gifts, and come in, we're open. That's all I needed to see. I had the time, so they have clothes for the youngins, and it was in like an old house, so they got various rooms. There's a woodcut thing out of Dearborn, the city limits kind of thing. They got all number of like goodies. You got the coasters for your drink. They got a neat little lamp at the front desk, the checkout desk. Then stories from the sidewalk. This is how I found out about the place. They were talking about the Ford homes. They had that first thing in June where they have the street fair or street sale. So you can get t-shirts, sweatshirts. DBN is the abbreviation for Dearborn. So I don't know if they have the dbn.org. I bought this. I bought the last one they have. They're going to have to reorder more of those now. So if you want one of those, you might have to wait till they restock. Sorry about that, but... Oh my Lord, what people put on their vehicles these days. Close your eyes. All right, well, I was just in the neighborhood. I had a couple errands to run downriver, so I was heading that way. And then the 4th Street Bridge was like open here, and so... but they have... I know these people that put up this sculpture. Yeah. It's another one of my claims to fame, but the Nordine brothers put up this nice sculpture. Then I have a brother-in-law that probably did the glass work for that. They own the Glass Academy, my sister and brother-in-law do. Anyways, this is when the bridge opens. I'd love to see like this kind of gear thing, but it swings up, it levers up, and the bridge lifts up. And I was thinking a big boat went by, but I don't see any big boats. That's looking up towards the Rouge River, or the Rouge Plant, I should say. This is the I-75 bridge over the Rouge. And there's a big boat here, but this one's already docked. It's been here a while. So I missed why the bridge had to go up. But here's... I don't know if this is salt and they're getting ready for the winter time or what the deal is. But there's the holiday train goes across that rail line bridge there. Holiday train is like the first weekend or something like in December. Holiday train comes from Canada and then heads towards Chicago, but the holiday train doesn't have a stop per se in the Detroit area, and it should. It should stop behind the Michigan Central station, and they should let people check it out, and they should have a musical performance. But they don't own the rail line in the Michigan area, so they have to go quietly, which is not right. We need to celebrate the holiday train. So that's on the bucket list of things that I kind of want to do. If you can do some speed reading, the 48217 area code is a highly polluted area code in Detroit, and Marathon Petroleum has their refinery here, but they were buying up as many homes as they could in these kind of two neighborhoods. So this is the 4th Street Bridge Park, they say. So right at Oakwood and 4th Street. And there's the cantilever kind of swing pendulum bridge. There's a name, but anyways, yeah, we're in the 313. And just so you know, DET.com is the website. Here's the Cape Canaveral type oil refinery kind of thing. It doubles. They have a space launch there where they can shoot off missiles too. In case Canada attacks us, we can retrofit that space launch for missiles. Because Windsor might want to take us over one of these days. We have to be ultimately prepared for that. Folks, though, getting near the top of the hour, but this will continue into the Dearborn style show. I kind of had a bunch of Dearborn stuff with the prelude to Ford Field, but I'll have some other video here. There's some Fisher people here down by the river, and then here's the original Ganellas. I went to school with Vince Ganella. We graduated the same year in '78. at Etzel Ford, the best high school in all the land. Fortson's okay, Dearborn's okay, but Etzel's the best. Folks, though, thanks for watching. Have a great week or weekend. Good night.